Alright, howdy. Alright, let's get into B and B flat and find out how to think about these keys that a lot of people feel are more difficult to play in, which they are, but there's ways you can think about them that, at least to me, make them more manageable. And so let's get right into it. And so there's let's start out with B flat. And so the pattern is this, okay? And we're going to start out we're going to start right here, okay? I'm going to start here on this B flat, C, D, E flat, or D sharp, same thing, F, G, A, B flat, okay? Now if we go down, let's go back down. Okay, we're going that way. D, C, B flat. We're going to go, you could go A, right? Which is perfectly fine out of B flat to play A. You can also get the A with your fourth finger, which is important, and we'll talk about that in a second. Okay, A, G, F, E flat. Again, you could play the D, open, or you could reach it with your fourth finger. Then C, B flat, A, and then G is the last note we can reach on a 4-string fiddle in standard tuning out of the scale of B flat major. Now, first of all, I want to stop right now and just talk about what is a closed position. You'll hear about that. And closed position on this instrument means that you're not playing any open strings. Okay? So I'm going. Okay? Now you might say to yourself, but why would you do that? Why not make it easier on yourself? And yes, you're absolutely right. You know, if you're playing out a B flat, you know, feel free to embrace those open strings. Not saying that that's wrong. But if you learn to use your fourth finger, watch what happens. Okay? The B flat, let's say we're playing out of B instead of B flat. Okay? Well, that same finger pattern, if we don't play any open strings, works. Okay? B. See that pattern? You don't even really have to know those notes exactly, you know. Now, it's important to learn them, yes. But just the pattern alone works. And it works over on these strings as well. So to prove it to you, here we go. This is out of B flat. And just pay attention to my spacing. B whole step, half step, right? And then I jump over a whole step to the next string. Whole step, half step. Well, if I'm not playing open strings and I'm using my fourth finger, I can just keep doing that. I can go, that was B flat, but let's move up to B. So this is starting off in B. I can go B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, A sharp, B, but really look at my finger patterns. It's exactly the same as B flat. Whole step, half step, whole, half. Now you might, couldn't you do that all the way up? And yes, you can. And that's how you play out of different positions. People talk about second position. And so that's whenever your first finger here would be playing, say, a G note. Well, what note would that move to? If you move the B up half a step, that would become C. And so if you use that same finger pattern, you're playing out a C. Let's move it up another half step just to prove the point. C sharp, D, D sharp, and on and on. All right, you gotta play it. Jump up there in tune, but E, there we go. Anyway, yeah, so that's the beauty of it, is that anywhere you go on the neck, if you know that finger pattern, you can play out of a bunch of different keys. And the same thing as we go down, okay? Just to get the point across. So out of B, we'd go, or B flat, we'd go B flat. Okay, we didn't go all the way down to G because that's an open string and that'll mess up our closed position thing. So now, but now let's do that out of B. Just move that up. B flat, C sharp, F sharp, E, D sharp, C sharp, B, B flat, B. Now those are different note names, but same pattern. How about C? Yeah. Okay. And so that's the beauty of learning the closed positions. Now, the other thing that we need to talk about is how to think about your fingers. So, in numbers, fingers. Okay. So, guitars have capos, right? This idea of you're basically moving this nut here, okay? So if you could put a capo right here on the fiddle, which I think they exist, but it's unnecessary. You know, you're going to be making everything sharper by a half step. Okay? Meaning that if you wanted to play, if you had a capo, just imagine a capo sitting here, right? And you played this note with that capo there. Okay? That'd be a B flat. So then if you went up here and you acted like, yeah, or if you acted like this capo was this nut here, well, what would you have to do? Well, just use your same fingering at the same distance from the capo as your fingers would be from the nut where the strings cross here. And you'd be, what key would you be playing out of? Well, the capo, when you lifted up all your fingers, you know, your open string would now become B flat because you got a capo in here. Okay, so you'd be playing out of B flat. Well, if you start to think that your first finger is the capo, it helps. At least it helps me. So for instance, here's what I mean, okay? So here's the pattern out of A. Let's just do Mary Had a Little Lamb. Something simple, okay? Mary had a little lamb. Okay? That's out of A. I'm using the open A string, the first, and my second finger. Here, in fiddle speak. Great. Now what if, though, I used my first finger laid down here on this B flat and pretended like that was now my open string? Now I would just have to transfer the same noting pattern up to my second and third fingers. Okay? So instead of going with these two, I would hold this one down to create a new open string, sort of, and just start with my third finger here. Okay? That would be that melody. Now the next part of the melody would be what? So, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb. So here, where my open string is A, I'm going to be doing B, B, B. Or first finger, first finger, first finger, second finger, open E. Alright? But where I'm pretending like my first finger is now holding down that open, is creating the open strings. Pretending like my first finger is this, where they cross here. Okay? So instead of the finger pattern being first finger, first finger, first finger, second, open, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go second finger instead of the first. Second, 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 third instead of second. And then, instead of open E, remember, I've created this here. This finger is creating the open strings for me, okay? And it doesn't come up. So that'll be an F note. So that helps me to think about, to transfer finger patterns. Just to think, well, if I'm playing it with my second finger when it's open, then I know that I'll be doing it with my third and not picking up my first. I'll be doing all that little pattern there with my third and second fingers. If that feels like a big lift to you right now, just give that time. And the more you learn about scales and the more tunes you learn, the more scales you get under your fingers, the easier that'll be for you to go from one thing to the other. Okay? And so that's the beginnings of, I think, helpful ways to think about playing in closed positions and the importance of learning how to play in these closed positions because you can move them all over the neck. Okay, so we're going to learn some things out of B flat and B, and remember that when you learn them out of B flat and B, or if you learn them out of B flat, as long as you use your fourth finger, don't use any open notes, you've also learned them out of B. And you've learned them out of C. And if someone comes in and demands it, C sharp if you have to. But, all right, that's it for now, and we'll get into some melodies in the next few videos. Thanks so much.